Hey friends, welcome to Tradition Café, the spot where the past bumps into the present and we get to sip our favorite drinks while digging into the stories that make people, well, people. I'm Anna Xavier, your host, curious and totally here for the fun of learning about people's lives. In each episode, we'll celebrate heritage, family, and community, whether it's immigrants, the generations that came after them, or chosen families that make life messy, interesting, and unforgettable. So if you're like me, inquisitive, a little nosy, and love a good story, pull up a chair, grab your cup, and thanks for listening. Today on Tradition Café, we sit with OwlSnake, a two-spirit medicine person. Carrying Muscogee, Choctaw, Cherokee, Benin, and Taíno lineages, OwlSnake walks with ancestors in every step of the journey. You feel OwlSnake's presence before a single word is spoken. Layers of beads drape across their neck, wrists, and hands, each strand chosen with intention, each piece holding a story. Her adornment is a ceremony in itself. They are pieces forming a living archive of lineage and medicine. This conversation was so deep, layered, and expansive that it had to be split into 2 episodes. Part 1 focuses on lineage, OwlSnake's ancestral threads, the meaning of being a hollow bone and way shower, and the early life experiences that shaped her medicine path. Everybody, pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage. Cheers. Salud. Mm-hmm. Would you like me to call you Robin Lynn?
OwlSnake.
OwlSnake. Okay. So, OwlSnake. Mm-hmm. Tell me what OwlSnake means to you.
I'll start with the beginning of the government name, I guess you say.
Yeah.
Robin Lynn. And that's, for we live in America. So the American name, quote unquote. But my true name is OwlSnake. Hoo.
Yes.
People always say, huh? They try to make it like awesome. No, it ain't that. No, just OwlSnake. And so it's snowy owl. It's a snow owl and a rattlesnake. And what it means to me and what it means basically is I am a medicine person, that, we also say wayshower that works with the spirits and the ancestors and the medicine that I provide this realm through myself being a hollow bone for spirit is transformation. Okay. And so when you think of a snow owl, it's the vision. Okay. It's to be able to see in the dark. And you have to be able to see in the dark in order to find the light. And so snow owl particularly is in the night when it's dark, I can go into the crevices, whether it's in a journey or whether it's just visually. And get truth and get the message. And then snake, the rattlesnake, is about the transformation piece. So once owl brings the dark into the light, reveals, and you shed it through the skin. And if you know anything about a rattlesnake, the rattle itself is made up. You don't like snakes.
I don't like snakes. No. I'm sorry, but I love the imagery.
That was a good snake tongue, though. But I know what you were doing.
Thank God this isn't on video.
It should be.
It will be. Another day.
So the snake, each time it sheds, it creates a layer of the rattle. Okay. And so that's what the rattle is made up of, is the different layers of skin. And so OwlSnake. And so I work with assisting folks to transition from one realm to the other, or one, and not just realm living and dead, but realms on this level as well. Okay. So.
The name OwlSnake, did that come to you or was that given to you?
That was given to me.
Okay.
And so when you are, there's elders that sit around before you're born, especially I should say I come from a long line of medicine people. Yes. Some people call shamans, and we know I'm indigenous of this land and of Africa as well. And of this land, it is medicine, medicine person, medicine man, medicine woman. Shaman became really big when it became kind of a hashtag. It became really hashtag. Big. So everyone all of a sudden, I'm a shaman.
I'm a shaman, like, and I have Lululemon pants.
Oh my goodness gracious, that part, and Crocs. Yeah. But basically, it is a name that is given to you by your elders, by the ancestors through the elders and the spirit people of your tribe. And so since I was born in what they call America, I was given my biological father's name was Robert Lee. That was his American name. Robert
Okay.
Lee, yeah.
And now he is Native American,
Yes.
but which nations?
Muskogee and Choctaw.
And where are those from?
Okay, so thank you for asking that, because it's that's a big part of just the work that I do.
Yeah.
And really what we're going through right now, what we're seeing even over in Palestine, what's happening, as an example. Florida, okay, so Muscogee, Muscogee were the tribe that was in Florida. Now, let me stop there. I'm Muscogee, Choctaw, and Cherokee, okay?
Right.
But the Muscogee...
Cherokee's on your mom's side.
My mom's side,
okay.
yes. But the Muscogee is the medicine. I'm a medicine person for the Muscogee tribe. Okay. So, and then also for the Benin tribe in Africa, which is another part of my indigenous.
Benin.
Yeah,
That's how you say it.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Benin. In Benin, spiritual healers are the guardians of ancient wisdom, guiding their communities through the unseen forces that shape life. These medicine people practice Vodun, a living tradition that honors ancestors, natural spirits, and the delicate balance between the physical and spiritual worlds. They heal not just bodies, but spirits, fevers, injuries, emotional pain, spiritual imbalance, and even misfortune. Through divination, they uncover the roots of illness or conflict. With herbs, sacred rituals, and offerings, they channel the guidance of ancestors to restore harmony and health. Rituals are alive with drums, chants, and dance, drawing the community into a shared rhythm with the spirits. Healers may enter trance states, becoming vessels for ancestral voices. They craft protective charms and talismans, safeguarding families and communities with power passed down through generations. In Benin, healing is a celebration of life, spirit, and connection. Each ritual is a bridge between past and present, showing that true wellness comes from wisdom, compassion, and the enduring traditions of the ancestors.
And so Muskogee is in Florida, what they call now Florida. And they originally, Muskogee came from Puerto Rico, the islands. They're not called Puerto Rico, Taínos. And they made it over to the land, the tip of Florida. And so we were fine. We're in Muscogee, living on the land until who shows up and decides they want that land. And so my people, the Muscogee were a very complex tribe. Okay, they were very powerful in the medicine work, the spirit work, but they also were very good warriors. Very good, yeah. And so my people, though, my ancestors were the spirit side.
Okay.
And so Muscogee, when the Trail of Tears happened, hopefully all your listeners know what the Trail of Tears are. If not, please Google whatever you got to do. Get educated on that, because that's a big part of the. Anyway, we'll go back to that.
The migration,
yes,
and everything.
Migration, and what's poisoning this land,
and the government, everything.
Yes, everything. So when they came to Florida, they want that land. Well, part of the Muskogees were like, we're fighting, we're not giving up. And then my people were, well, come in, let's pray, let's do, And so, who got pushed out and the other parts who got to stay. And so when you go to Florida now, you might have heard of the Seminole tribe.
Yes.
Well, Seminole were actually Muscogee as well. And then when they fought and stayed, the other part of the Muskogees went to Oklahoma. And they became the Creek. So Creek is not what we called ourselves.
Creek or Cree?
Creek.
Okay.
Creek.
So many.
Yeah.
Love
and
it.
So so that's who ended up in Oklahoma. So you will hear people say the Creek Indian. Well, we're actually Muscogee, but the white man named us Creek once we got there. And so that's where they come from. The Choctaw as well was due to migration more of Alabama, as well as the Cherokee part.
Oh, okay.
And the territories were made, the actual, when they got to Oklahoma, where they called it the 5 civilized tribes. And what they meant by that was who the white government, or European governments, were able to control and push out. But it's, that's a sad time that America doesn't like to talk about.
Yeah. Here in North America, OwlSnake's Muscogee, Choctaw, and Cherokee ancestors, along with the Seminole and Chickasaw nations, were later grouped together and labeled by the U.S. government as the 5 civilized tribes. Each nation carried a distinct culture and identity, yet the U.S. government reduced them to a single label. It called independent nations tribes and dubbed them as civilized, judged only by European standards rather than their own rich civilizations. It was deeply disrespectful. The label ignored their sovereignty, diminished their individuality, and erased the recognition each nation deserved. The Chickasaw were fierce warriors and skilled traders. The Cherokee made their home in the Appalachian Mountains, mastering farming, politics, and creating a written language. The Muscogee lived in towns across plains and riverlands, balancing governance, trade, agriculture, and ceremony. The Choctaw farmed fertile valleys and were known for craftsmanship and warrior skill. The Seminole thrived in wetlands and forest, adapting with farming, hunting, and a flexible society. These 5 nations were forcibly removed from their homelands and marched hundreds of miles under harsh conditions through winter cold, rain, mud, and rough terrain with little food or shelter. The world calls it the Trail of Tears, but it was never a single trail or a single moment. It was broken treaties, winter camps, scattered families, hunger, and exposure at every step. Many people died. Elders who carried stories, children who carried possibility. The loss was human, cultural, spiritual, and linguistic. But history does not end at the wound. Even after removal, boarding schools, and attempts to erase cultures and languages, they survived, in whispers, in memories, in songs nearly lost but never forgotten. Today, something powerful is happening. The rebuilding, the reclaiming, the restructure of languages almost taken. Communities are teaching again. Elders mentor youth. Words return to classrooms, kitchens, drum circles, and ceremonies. So earlier, and before we got on air, you described yourself as a hollow bone for spirit, a medicine person, and a way shower. Can you tell me what those words mean?
Yes, definitely. Actually, I'm glad to. I was going to say, this is like, I'm not young. You can't see me on the screen here. But this is really cool because as I was on my way over here, I was telling my mom before I left the house, man, it's like I'm going to Disneyland. Because for someone like me, at my age, it wasn't cool to be who I am, who you're sitting here speaking to. There was a time we were, beaten for speaking our truth, and we had to do everything in secret. Yep. And so it's really an honor to be able to do this now, and really at this particular time. But I'll go back. So a medicine person, a lot of people, like I was mentioning earlier, call it shaman. Right. Now, that's Siberia. Blessings be. So, but a lot of people picked that up and used that and became just like a Coca-Cola. Kind of a deal. But in my tribe, we're medicine people, medicine person, medicine man. I say medicine person because I'm two-spirit, and I can talk about that later as well. But it is the person that is chosen by the ancestors, the elders, and really the spirits. And you are the seer, you're the healer. There's different variations of it. You can be a seer, you can be a person that does herbs, medicine, that kind of medicine. Physical medicine. Yes. Yeah. And it's also me, I'm more of the spirit realm.
Okay. I was going to say, because there is spirit and there is,
Exactly. And so I'm more of the spirit realm. And if you think about it, like, say, biblical for folks, Great Spirit. When they talk about, God, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Right. Holy Spirit is Great Spirit. Yeah. So I work for Great Spirit, the Holy Spirit, which is not religion. It is spirituality.
Yeah.
Okay. And
big difference.
Huge difference. Yeah. And so as a medicine person of the Muscogee, the creek, I offer myself as a hollow bone for spirit. So I sit with folks and communities, and I've sat in governor's offices and all the way up. And I sit there and open myself up. Robin Lynn moves out of the way.
Okay, gotcha.
And then OwlSnake is allowed to. OwlSnake is always there,
Right.
but in this world, I have to live dual.
Yeah.
And so OwlSnake is up, and so that way everything flows through that is spirit, the ancestors that's needed. Because you really don't want Robin Lynn's interpretation.
Are they very different?
Sometimes, I've gotten sweeter now, and so it's a little closer. But there was a time, you definitely wanted the right one.
Yeah.
But so OwlSnake is the hollow bone, and I'm honored to be able to say that. And it's not easy work. It's not easy work.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier now because everyone wants to be this shaman thing.
Yeah.
But not understanding where it's coming from and really what it takes. It's not a weekend course in Mill Valley or Marin Valley.
Right.
It's great. You can spiritually connected.
Or
learning.
Yeah.
Because we need that.
Yeah.
The more people go do that.
It's kind of what I'm doing here.
Yeah, exactly. And more people that do that and they're open to that as a possibility allows for someone like me as a hollow bone to be able to filter in with spirit direct message. So it's a blessing. So I don't knock it. If you have the money, you can do those classes, go do them. But just know what truth is.
Right.
And, and so basically that's what I do. I've said, like I said, at city tables, councils and stuff, and they've asked me about communities. Because I go into a community and I'm going to feel the spirit of the community. That's the role I do as a medicine person, also as a wayshower. So a wayshower is someone like, I say Yeshua, folks call him Jesus. I say Yeshua.
Right.
Yeshua is my main man. I say I'm a prophet of Yeshua, not the stories of Jesus.
Right.
Because Yeshua didn't write those stories.
No.
Different topic. But if you look at what he actually was trying to teach us and speak, was truth about we each are that way shore when we move out of our way. Yeah. And some of us are called to be at certain times to help lead for the next generations. And so that's why a lot of people are talking about it now, because the world we knew it is over. We're stepping into a new world.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And so that's the difference between a medicine person. Wayshore is really very similar. It's just more with the Wayshore is really teaching. Okay. It's showing you on how to blah, blah, blah.
Is it like a guide?
Like a guide. Okay. Like a Sherpa.
Sherpa. Okay. All right.
You go, like a Sherpa.
There you go.
Yeah. And where a medicine person is really on the spirit, connected with the spirit, connected with your soul, your ancestors, your spirit guides to help your soul, your spirit ascend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's staying open to things as the hollow bone. How do you stay open to like that guidance from the spirits and navigating the modern world? You use it for your community work. Like you were saying, Robin Lynn has to get out of the way.
Robin Lynn has to know how to do the dance.
Yeah.
And
sure.
Yeah. And so that's where the work comes in. Because OwlSnake is me. Is my core, is just who I am. But Robin Lynn is the soul. So my spirit is OwlSnake. My soul this lifetime is Robin Lynn.
Do you feel like Robin Lynn, I'm sorry, Robin Lynn kind of the representation of OwlSnake for people who aren't connected enough to the spiritual realm? Okay.
Very similar to like Yeshua in the physical form flesh.
Sure. Yeah.
Was a representation of his soul, of his spirit. Very much so. And
make it digestible for people.
Make it digestible.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is you lose a lot of that. It becomes one. And so I'm always this. Even though, people know me as Robin Lynn, OwlSnake is always right there. So you can talk and you're going to get the same message. You're going to get me at this point. Now, growing up, it was important for me to separate, to be able to navigate in this world. And so I'm relatable to folks. I wasn't called to be a monk up in the mountains. I was, as Yeshua, called to be among the people. And usually among those that needed the most support in this 3D world. Okay. Yeah. And so that's going to mean the homeless, the folks, and all those folks, you know, where some religions, they cut it off, you know, they judge them. I see that's a powerful spirit. And that's why they're stuck in that, to confuse them to not be that powerful spirit.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so Robin Lynn is, she's learned to do the dance.
Well, so then I want to get back to that stuff a little bit later, but right now I want to talk about Robin Lynn and OwlSnake. You took this journey, and I don't know if you discovered later on, you know, that OwlSnake was there, whatever, but you were born and raised in LA and raised in San Francisco.
Yes.
So that was Robin Lynn. Well, OwlSnake has always been there.
Yeah, OwlSnake.
Right?
I remember before I stepped into this lifetime. So OwlSnake has been here from get-go. Yeah. Robin Lynn showed up once that doctor slapped my butt.
Well, right. You've always had a different
name, but I've always been OwlSnake from lifetimes after lifetime. That's who I am. Robin Lynn, this lifetime, is the soul that I'm learning and living and growing in order to ascend and grow my spirit, which is OwlSnake. So, yeah.
Who controls your emotions? Because spirit and emotion is so very separate yet interconnected.
So that is the work. So Robin Lynn has her work, but so does OwlSnake. And so working together at this point in my journey, it's a flow. I see it as a flow.
Sure.
And so management of the flow, I'm going to say, is OwlSnake. When I was a baby, like 6 months, even before I can sit up in a crib, I was talking to spirits. OwlSnake was present. So Robin, the flesh was, I'm just a baby. I'm just kicking it. But OwlSnake, as a hollow bone, still had the work to do. And so OwlSnake would show up, speak to the ancestors, the spirits. My mother has told stories where she would hear it, and she would open the door and see it happening, and she would just shut the door. But I have to say, I come from a long line of medicine people. So it wasn't just me, like, poop, here I am.
Yeah, your dad.
Yeah, my dad. But most importantly for me and my journey is my great aunt, Aunt Maddie, which is on my mother's side.
Oh.
She was, back in the day, they would say, oh, she's eccentric, and then it became woo-woo and all witch, all this kind of stuff. And so she was that, and she was unapologetically that. And where people, were ridiculed or think she would have names. But they would come, my uncle Curtis, which was the story, he kept all the stories. So thankfully, before he made his transition, I gathered all he can offer me. And he tells the story of how, in the middle of the daytime, they would push her to the ground, they would ridicule her, say all these horrible things, but at night, they were the main ones knocking on the back door for her medicine, to give them wisdom, to give them, yes.
Did she do physical? Did she do herbs and stuff like that?
Did
she
herbs.
Also do spiritual?
She did spiritual.
Okay.
She was definitely a very powerful, she was powerful. And I'm going to say, in her time, because it was a time, hers can look a little radical, a little like, woo, she just did that. But I loved her. And it's so funny because I was the youngest cousin, a huge family, and she used to sit us in a circle. A very petite woman. She had her, house coats back then. And she always had those hard candies, the hard butterscotch and the hard...
Werther's Original?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it is, yes.
I like those.
And she always have in her house coat, and she would call us out from outside playing, and she'll sit there and have this table, which I just thought it was dirt on the table. I didn't know what it was. I was like 3, 4. And, but then I realized later it was medicine, it was herbs.
Oh.
And so she would sit there, and I was sitting there and listening, and she would rock, her eyes shut, and she would tell the stories of our ancestors, and she would sing these songs. And all my cousins would be like, oh, she's weird. I'm going to go ride my big wheel, but I'd be like, oh, just soak them up. And it was one time she opened her eyes, and I come from a big family, with lots of cousins. They all got up, ran out. They're going to play. I was the only one still sitting there, eyes wide open, just listening. Yeah. And I'll never forget that day. She looked at me, and she wasn't a big one, but she had this deep, it was this laugh. And she pointed at me and said, so you're the one. I'm like, I'm the one? oh, I'm going to give extra candy is when I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about that piece of candy.
I'm the holder of the bag.
I'm thinking of that. I'm not thinking. And she just laughed. I remember she took some herbs, and I realize now I thought it was just dirt, and she puts it in my hand and she blows. And I had always, I can't remember a time that I didn't receive messages and have visions and hear spirit.
That's awesome.
And like I said, I was in the crib. But what I can tell you is when that happened, they started to appear, I'm going to say, in HD color before HD was even thought of.
Yeah.
My visions became like vibrant colors, like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because the colors are just amazing. Nothing in our palette here.
Yeah.
And I just remember that very young. After that, my dream, everything was just like that. And so she really passed on the family tradition, medicine to me. So I say I am a continuation of the medicine that she was called to bring this realm.
So she was like the keeper of the traditions. Can you tell me some of those traditions?
Yeah. Well, we're seers. And so we get, whether it's a vision or it's a message from an ancestor or guide, we receive those. And I'm saying we because, like I said, I am a continuation of her medicine. It was my role to send it even more. And so there's times, I have it all. I get scent, taste, vision, hearing, knowing. What we do is we offer peace is what we're trying to do. We're trying to offer grace, peace, and biggest thing of all is love to individuals. So folks don't have to struggle. It's a struggle in this realm down here, and it's meant to be. It's a learning ground.
Yeah.
And so, but you have to get refined. But what happens is people get trauma and they just stay in the trauma. They don't go through it and get the refinement of the fire. And so our role is in doing that piece is to really be that way shore to help people come to remember who they are in spirit.
Right.
When I was little, I can tell you one of the first messages, and because another thing we do is messages verbal, audible. And one of the first ones I got that repeated, and it was saying even before I even really understood what the words were. That's how long I've had this message. And it was to remember all the fragmented pieces back into the whole. And that's when you remember that you are a spirit.
Right.
You are what you're seeking. We are that. And so when it says, we're a speck of God, we're a speck of God. So therefore we are God. And Spirit, Holy Spirit, we say Great Spirit, was left here on this realm to help all those spirits that are fragmented to remember who they are. And that's, I got there very young. Like I said, I didn't even know what does that mean? I don't know. But let's go watch Sesame Street. But I've had that same message that long. And and really what it is we, from that first slap on the butt, snap, let's breathe, that spirit, that soul experiences trauma.
Yeah.
If there was things in the womb, I've had to go back and heal things from being in the womb of my mother. I've had to heal them because that soul was present. That soul was there. And so it was digesting all this. What does that mean? What is that?
Right.
Because all the soul knows is love.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's taking all this, remembering that we are whole, perfect, and complete no matter what. We just forgot.
Right.
Okay. So the work is to remember, to go back and remember all those fragmented pieces back into your whole. And that is when you return to spirit, to your true, authentic self.
So you have a very interesting mix, though, because you have the Native American tribes and culture and heritage. You also have Scottish.
Yes.
Have you done much look into the Scottish side or the lineage there?
Which is, thank you for asking that question because it was a big shame. I had so much shame about that piece of me that a lot of times I didn't tell people about it.
Why is that?
Because you have to think about it. If you think, okay, you're indigenous of this land, well, you let the white man take your land. You're also African. Yeah, you were a slave till there was a master. So nothing about the European, nothing about was good. Was good. And so I didn't want that blood flowing through my body. And when I came to, but yeah, my grandmother, who I loved, was a beautiful, spiritual, very quiet woman, but very strong, but quiet. Very fair complexion. My Aunt Maddie, lighter than you, could pass.
And this is on your mother's side.
My mother's side, yeah. And so what was cool, though, is I finally said, my ancestors said, okay, look, this is a big part of your medicine. Okay? Because remember, I don't know if I said it, my work here, why I came back here this lifetime, is to expand love.
Yes.
By any means necessary.
Right.
So I can't do that if I'm hating a part of myself.
Right. How did you heal that?
So what I finally did was, after the ancestors, one thing about it is, like, you can, if you're called to be a medicine person this lifetime, we have the ability to ignore signs like everybody else does.
Right.
Until it gets to the point, like, okay, now, girl, you came down there to do something. You said yes up here that you were going to be a hollow bone, so you need to work on this. Right. So it became not a choice.
Yeah.
And, I was in a marriage with someone that was, that was her ancestry, and I left that marriage after being abused for a while, and it's like I was starting to get that within me really big, like, see, it's one of them. But then I was like, wait a minute, but it's still a part of me.
Right.
And it's my grandmother who I love, and it's my aunt. Wait, and so I asked my uncle, the Uncle Curly, who he was
Curly?
he was so sweet. He was also fair-skinned.
Okay.
And he was the keeper of the stories, like I said. And I called him. I'm so glad I did, and I just because he made his transition, and so, and he told a story about how my great grandmother met my great grandfather on my mom's side, and she was Lottie. She was a woman, thin, but she worked in a saloon. How old this was, a saloon. And but people would come in, and she would take her dress off and go fight the men in a slip. They got she was something. So
hell yeah, Nana.
so all of a sudden, this white man goes into this establishment, and everyone's looking because he's white. And he sits down, and he's watching her do this, and he says, I'm going to marry that woman.
Oh.
And so they fell in love.
Cute.
And, of course, back then it wasn't legal. But he wanted to do it the right way. So they had, and he came from a family that had a plantation and had slaves. He broke away from the family. And they went to the county clerk office. And he said, I want to marry this woman. I love her. And the guy, you can't marry that.
Yeah.
Said the N-word. That's the law. And he pulls his gun out of his holster and puts it on the desk and says, this is my law, and you're going to marry me with the woman I love. And so they got married, but then it became kind of outlawish, kind of behind it. But when I realized that was how he came to be my great-great-grandfather, he is my teacher. He is my way shower. He is my guide. On how to expand love by any means necessary. And I didn't fully understand. I knew what my medicine was. I knew what I was called to do. I knew what my work was. But I didn't understand to the depths that I do until I healed that connection with my great-great-grandfather. Yeah, he shows me how to love.
Let's take a journey to Africa then.
Let's go.
Talk to me about the Benin.
Yes, Benin.
Benin tribe. West Africa is something that you and I both have in common.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm Caribbean.
Yeah.
And with Taíno blood and Spanish,
we're
French,
cousins.
all
We're
of that.
cousins.
Yeah, totally. But, a majority of the slaves came from West Africa to the Caribbean. So talk to me about that. What do you know about that side?
Oh, yeah. And when you say that, like, Benin is right between Nigeria and Niger. And so that's where a lot of the slave ships, that's where it's at. So that's how you end up in the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So Odu Ume, man, he was African,
Who?
Odu Ume.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, she said this. He powerful medicine man, witch doctor, whatever you want to call it. And he was a nomad. And so he would go to village and offer healing. And when he would come to the village, people were running way up ahead to meet him, and they would bow and just say, "Udume," and just give him love. And, as he's walking into the village to do the healing. So really reverent. But powerful man was not fearful at all, not fearful. And he did end up getting captured and brought to this land, America. And what was beautiful, though, and this is the beautiful part of the African piece in me, is he never was a slave.
Oh.
Because he was a medicine man. He knew how to speak to animals. So he knew how to tame the wild horses.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to break in here for a second, tell everybody that when Robin Lynn OwlSnake came into my home and brought a drum, my dog, everybody knows, well, maybe not everybody knows, Rumpus, had the most calm reaction to you that is so unbelievably rare. So, yeah.
He ran up to me, wanted to, he barked, and he looked at me.
He just kind of went, "Oh,
and
you again."
Then he looked at you. That's why I said, look, I said, "Mama, you know who this person just walked in?" Because he ran up like, and then he looked, and then he looked at you, and then he just went and chilled.
Yeah, I mean, it's the connection to the animal world. Yeah.
And thank goodness thank the ancestors that my great-great-grandfather had that ability. So they made him a free man because he had to travel to get white horses for farmers, plantation owners. And so luckily I don't have that trauma within my DNA as slavery, but I do have the Trail of Tears. Didn't need it.
Well,
got to get it somehow.
Right. The Kingdom of Benin, along the coast of what is now southern Nigeria, was a thriving civilization with rich political and spiritual traditions. From the 15th century onward, Europeans arrived to trade goods like palm oil, ivory, and cola nuts. These early contacts connected Benin to the wider world, but they also set the stage for the Atlantic slave trade, which forcibly removed countless Africans from their homeland. Long before these forced crossings, however, Benin had developed traditions, languages, and cultural practices that would survive and carry forward across the Atlantic, shaping the Caribbean and the Americas. Men, women, and children from Benin and neighboring regions were forced onto ships for a long and horrific journey across the Atlantic. Crowded below decks, they endured disease, malnutrition, abuse, and death. Many never survived, and those who did arrive traumatized and broken, stripped of freedom and family. When Africans arrived in the Caribbean, they entered lands still home to the Taíno people, the indigenous inhabitants of the islands. The Taíno were already suffering under Spanish rule, facing violence, forced labor, and disease. Spanish friar and historian Bartolomé de las Casas spoke out against their mistreatment and documented their devastation. Previously, he had advocated that Africans could be enslaved instead of the Taíno, but he later regretted this, recognizing it was unjust to cause suffering to one group while trying to protect another. Over generations, African, Taíno, and European cultures blended. Creole languages emerged. Music and dance carried the rhythms of memory and resilience. Some descendants of the Caribbean diaspora later moved to the southeastern United States, particularly what is now Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. There, African-descended communities came into contact with the Muscogee Nation, a people with their own rich traditions and governance. Historical records show cultural exchange in agriculture, craft, music, and ceremony. The journey of the Benin people from West Africa across the Caribbean and into North America is a story of endurance and survival. Their languages, beliefs, and traditions persisted, shaping the Caribbean, influencing communities in the Southeast, and echoing today in music, ritual, and community life.
when I first met you.
Oh.
You thought it was cuckoo, though.
No, I didn't. I don't remember.
You thought it was up to something.
No, I didn't.
Because
I don't think so.
I met you through our mutual friend, and then I said to you, can we have, dinner or coffee? I said, because.
That's right.
Yeah, I said, because I said, I really, I need to tell you something. And you put it off,
yeah.
And I kept trying. So why is this lady not letting me help her? I have a message, right? Finally, you agreed. And
it was a great talk.
And you showed up with this guy.
No, he lived there.
He lived there, yeah. You had him meet you there because you know what I was up to.
I said I'm going to be around your
you come on, girl. We can talk now.
But it was cool.
Yeah. But it was just real big because she
Remind me what you said.
Yeah.
This is a good story.
Yeah, I said, she thinks I'm trying to figure out she got this dude. I was like, no. So I just said, okay, whatever that's about, I'm about, this is all snake. So I just letting you know, I was letting you, reminding you of who your lineage is and the medicine that flows through you, through your people. And that they're trying to come through you to expand their medicine. This is what I was telling you. And you were like, oh. It was like,
well, because you weren't saying something that I didn't already feel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you didn't expect.
But it's nothing that I normally say to people.
Yes. But you didn't expect it from me. I was just like, she just thinks I'm up for that. No, I'm just trying to do my medicine work. And then afterwards, I knew it was somebody the way because your whole face.
I'll explain my bullshit that I came through to get
because your whole face
to get to that attitude.
Because your whole face just changed. Like you were prepared for that.
Well,
but then you were like, huh?
But because I don't tell people about that.
Yeah.
I don't tell people about the things that I feel in my, like a lot of people know that I have, some really weird healer thing.
Well, we share the same blood of our Indigenous
Taíno
tribes.
Yeah.
That's both. And West Africa, both.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us for part 1 of this powerful conversation with OwlSnake. In part 2, we step into an even more intimate realm as OwlSnake shares the deeper meaning of being two-spirit, the balance, the responsibility, and the way this identity shapes relationship, healing, and purpose. We also explore the nature of profound soul connection, what some might call a twin flame, but what OwlSnake beautifully describes as a divine counterpart. It's a bond that mirrors, challenges, and awakens the spirit. Part 2 is coming soon. It's raw, revealing, and deeply human. You don't want to miss it. This episode is brought to you by the Fireside Lounge, located at 1453 Webster Street in Alameda, California. It's your spot for craft cocktails, live music, and good vibes. Check out thefiresidelounge.com for what's happening this week. Follow Tradition Café on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen, and connect with us on Facebook and Instagram. Also swing by traditioncafe.com for more stories, culture, and behind-the-scenes fun. I'm Anna Xavier, and until next time, keep sipping your coffee and raising a cocktail. Let the stories inspire you, and we'll see you at the next episode of Tradition Café. Thanks for listening.